Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be going through here and ranking the top 5 best cards at each position here in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. 2KDB is finally working to the point where lineups work and I can enter names in lineups and they'll pop up with card arts and everything, which allows me to use this website now for more of my videos. Start using it for top 10s, start using it for lineup builders, stuff like that, so that y'all can see on paper these lineups instead of just having to visualize the stuff in your head. So before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. So first things first, we're going to start with the point guard position, and we're going to go from we'll go from 5 to 1, and we'll just try to skim through these pretty quickly because got 25 names to get to in this video. But first things first, we got Gary Payton, exceptionally elite defensive PG, has a good release, 80 driving dunk, really solid card, who is still, I would say, the best defensive point guard in the game probably, and absolutely very capable offensively as well, with decent movement, a nice release, solid slashing, all that type of stuff. Very solid card. I think does deserve that number 5 spot. Number 4 to me is Ja Morant, and the reason that Ja is number 4 is because of his exceptional slashing and his release being really fast. So because of those two things, he's got a good fade as well. He is just a really good offensive point guard. He's a little undersized defensively, but he holds his own still and is solid enough defensively and elite offensively. So really good card in his own right at number 4. But I do believe the number 3, 2, and 1 point guards are pretty clear, especially the which ones they are, as I just spelled the wrong thing. But at number 3, I do think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander makes the most sense for number 3. The thing about Shai is he's got a really fast release. He's got decent movement, not unbelievable, but pretty good. And he's a good slasher, 85 driving dunk, solid all-around defender, especially once he is fully badged. He's a really solid card who has the size, has the release speed, has the finishing, all the stuff that you want out of an elite point guard, but I don't think he's truly unbelievable in any specific area the way that these top 2 guys are, and that's why I put him 3rd, but he is really complete and really good. Number 2, Devin Booker. D-Book is the best shot-creating point guard in my team. He has the best SIGs of any PG in the game right now. An exceptional fade and an exceptional release as well, and he's also pretty athletic and pretty solid defensively. I think he's a better playmaker than SGA and similar to SGA as a defender and a slasher, which is why I put him at the number 2 spot and put SGA at number 3. But at number 1, to me, it's not all that close. It's Zach LaVine. I mean, it is close. You could 100% argue D-Book. The thing about LaVine is he has the elite level release like D-Book and Shai have, but he's more complete badge-wise, and he is an exceptionally incredible slasher. I mean, he's Ja Morant except 6'5" with a very fast release and decent movement in his own right. I do believe he's the best point guard in the game. I think it's relatively close, but for me, I think LaVine definitely holds the top spot right now. And this is my top 5 PGs, a very strong position right now in my team. At the shooting guard position, number 5, I'm going with Andrew Wiggins. Wiggs is really good. He is 6'8", very good defender. Honestly, kind of a cheaper version of the guy we'll see here in a second at number 2, but a pretty affordable card who's really good defensively, 6'8", offset shot specialist, nice release, super athletic, really solid all-around 2 guard, and a very good card at number 5. Number 4 is one of the better shot creators on this list, which is Jack Marin. His Curry escape makes his movement really nice, in addition to having an awesome release and pretty versatile defense, 90 perimeter, 88 interior, so really good all-around card as well. When badged, he's also super complete, so I think he definitely deserves a spot pretty high up on this list at number 4. Big fan of Marin, but I do think the top 3 to me at the shooting guard position is kind of unchanged, and that is Scottie Pippen at number 3, exceptional defender, exceptional release, and an exceptional slasher. Not a top tier shot creator, but he's got an elite fade as well. Still a really good card at the number 3 spot, but definitely clearly number 3. Number 2, the guy who I said Andrew Wiggins is a budget version of, is Paul George. They have basically the same size, very similar slashers, similar releases, similar defense. Paul George is just better across the board, better stats, better badges. He is the better version of an Andrew Wiggins, but they do very similar things on the court. I think Paul George is similar to Pippen defensively, but with better stats and badges all the way around, and a little bit better movement. Puts him at the number 2 spot on the list. Number 1, though, not even a debate in my mind. I think the best shooting guard in the game is pretty darn clear, and it's Dr. J. He is statistically similar to guys like Paul George and Pippen. Unbelievably complete, does everything at an elite level, can guard on the interior. Big player build with an afro that makes him look even taller than 6'7". And the thing about him is his jumper's top tier and his SIGs are top tier. He might be the best. You could make an argument that Dr. J is the best card in the game. And that includes Wemby. I mean, that's how good this Dr. J card is. I think he is as good as any option at the shooting guard position in my team, and a card that has exceptional longevity as well because he's got top tier SIGs and a top tier fade in addition to how good his stats and badges are. Outside of that, I think the small forward position is also pretty straightforward. I mean, I feel like these positions aren't actually as hard to rank as I thought they were going to be. I got Diamond AK as number 5 on the small forward position. I mean, really good 3-and-D, very fast jump shot, really good defender. He's not a great slasher nor a great playmaker, but he is elite defensively and has a very, very fast jump shot, which provides a lot of value to the card, and I think he's very, very good. At number 4 is a more complete type of card with similar speed to his jumper, very fast shot, very good defender, but more complete, much better slasher than AK, a little bit faster, a little bit more versatile as a playmaker. Really, really good free card, by the way. If you grinded this Dia de los Muertos event, it's one of the cards that I would say, no money spent or not, is the type of card that you should have targeted from this event. He's an absolute stud, can play at a competitive level, and he's free. Really, really good card at number 4. Number 3 is OG Anunoby, who honestly is very similar to Jaime Jaquez. You could easily switch those two guys, and I wouldn't even really blame you. In fact, I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to switch OG Anunoby and Jaime Jaquez on the fly because Jaime gives you a little bit more, I think. They're similar slashes, but Jaime's a little better. Maybe his defense animations are really good. His jumper's also awesome. OG is a good jumper too. I just think Jaime might be a slightly better overall card. But OG's a really good card. He's exceptional 3-and-D again with real athletic ability. Honestly, all 3 of these cards are kind of in the same mold. I just think Jaime gives you the most completeness of any of them. And so we'll put him at number 3, OG at 4, and AK at 5. And then at number 2, we got KD, Kevin Durant, K Disney. KD is obviously awesome offensively. Pretty good movement, nice release, interesting fade. I don't love his fade, to be honest. He's a good slasher. He's a solid defender. He's 6'10". Like, there's a lot to like about the card, but his badges aren't quite as awesome as I'd like, not quite as complete. I feel like as a whole, he could be a little bit better as an overall card. I mean, he's certainly not a bad card at all. He's a very, very good one, but I just personally would actually kind of lean towards him being at that, I mean, I almost would argue him below Jaime. I'm not going to. I think he's a little better, but for his price, he's not worth it. He's very good, but he's not worth his price. Number 1, unshockingly, LeBron James. There is one notable exclusion, I should say, at the small forward position, but he will be on the power forward position. Don't worry. That is Paulo Banchero, obviously. But LeBron is really, 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 really good. Still, the fact that he is the best card in his position in the game after having been in the game for 2 months already, it's crazy. They dropped this card on day 1. He's still the best small forward in the game. Absolutely incredible card. Still has one of the better releases in my team, which is crazy as well. They gave LeBron such an elite release this year. He is a really, really, really good card. Definitely number 1 at small forward. Power forward position, and I feel like I got to speed through this even a little bit quicker than I have been because this video is going to end up being pretty long. But Karl Malone, solid release, good shooter, really good defender, good athleticism, speed, bulky player build. He's like better Zion, basically, is how I would describe Karl Malone. I think he's a really good card. I think his release is solid. I think he defends well. I think he's a little bit slept on as well compared to a lot of these other newer cards, but he's really, really good still. So we'll put him at number 5. Al Harrington at number 4 is similar in that he's probably a little bit overlooked at this point, but still in a lot of people's lineups, especially because he's pretty affordable. He's around a buyout at this point. I'm not sure he's quite a buyout, but he's not that much more expensive than a buyout. And his jumper is really, really good. He can get very complete badges. He's a good athlete, good slasher, solid, versatile defender. 6'9", gives him pretty good size at the power forward position. Really good card. Still in my main God squad, actually. I really like Al Harrington a lot. Number 3 is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is one of the best defensive cards in the game. Guards 1 through 5 better than potentially basically anybody. He is an incredible card, incredibly complete and incredibly versatile, but unfortunately his jumper is not amazing and he is not the best shooter in the world. To me, that is the only reason that he is not number 1 at the power forward position, but he is a very, very good card, no doubt about it. At number 2, we got Jaren Jackson Jr. Yes, I could have included him at center. I decided to include him at power forward as well, but I think power forward is one of the weaker positions. Triple J at number 2, he is honestly quite similar to Giannis defensively, super versatile, super good, super lanky. Better release than Giannis, not as athletic, not the attacker or slasher or shot creator that Giannis is, but he is a much better shooter. At the power forward position, I think that provides a little bit more value personally, but similar very much so defensively to Giannis. He is an exceptional card, and he is the number 2 power forward in the game, in my opinion. And like I said, the guy who was missing at the small forward position is because I wanted to strengthen the power forward position. And that's why Paulo Banchero is the #1 power forward option in my team. I'm actually starting him at power forward right now still on my squad. He's 6'10". He's honestly very Giannis-esque in terms of his shot creation, his slashing, even his size, his defense. But he gets every single badge in the game. His jumper is much better than Giannis's. His 3-ball rating is much higher than Giannis's. He's the best diamond card in the game still, and will be probably for quite a while. I mean, they gave us a card in Paulo who has incredibly complete stats, every single badge in the game, and an exceptional jumper in October. Kind of mind-blowing to me, to be honest, and he's still the best power forward in the game. It probably will be for a good jump. And then at the center position, couldn't really figure out who I wanted to put at number 5, so I decided to go Kareem Abdul-Jabbar just because how big he is, 7'2". Can hit a wide open 3, but his jumper's not top tier, and his 3-ball rating at 62 isn't amazing, but he can certainly hit wide open with decent consistency. He's a dominant inside, 7'2", exceptional defensively, Afro player build, all that type of stuff. One of the best cards in my team still, if you know how to use them properly, but I still think there's a lot of good centers. So because of the lack of exceptional shooting, I'm putting him at number 5. Whereas the guy who's like Miles Turner is a couple inches shorter than Kareem, not quite as good defensively, but still elite defensively, solid speed, much better release and higher 3-ball. I'm going with the elite popper there, and Miles Turner is an exceptional popper. He's a really good card, and I think, I mean, when he came out, he was the 2nd best center in the game. Now I think he's the 4th, but he's really dang good, no doubt about it. Number 3 is going to be Joel Embiid, whose jumper I think is a little bit easier this year, especially if you're shooting with the stick. Feels much more consistent. He's got good speed. He's a great defender. He's very complete badge-wise. He is my starting center, or he was my starting center, I should say, during King of the Court this past weekend, and I like the card. I used him a decent chunk. I really do like him. I just think there's a couple centers a little bit better, and I mean, there's one center who obviously rules above the rest. So the rest of these guys are close. Like David Robinson, Joel Embiid, Miles Turner, all pretty much give you the same thing. Elite defensive centers who can shoot the ball at a very high level, have really good poppers with solid releases. I think D-Rob is probably the most complete of the 3, best jump shot of the 3, arguably as well. Always love D-Rob cards in my team, and I think really all 3 of these guys pretty much give you the same thing. D-Rob, Embiid, and Miles Turner are basically, they're not the same card, but they also kind of are the same card. You know what I mean? But then you got number 1. And it's that man, alien man, Victor Wembanyama, 7'4" with an absolutely top tier jump shot. And his fade is really good for some reason. He's so hard to contest because of the way height plays into the contest system this year. This card is ridiculous. He is so good. And I think he and Dr. J are the 2 best cards in the game right now. I would put him as the best card in the game, honestly. He is so good. And there's a reason he's 1.2, 1.3 million MT. And that's because he is an absolute demon. I am currently trying to accumulate all my MT to try to get him this week. I've been grinding some domination stuff like that. I sold by Embiid, and I'm not far off of getting a Victor Wembanyama for this next weekend. So I'm excited about the possibility of getting him, and I think he is an absolutely incredible card in my team. So with that being said, without further ado, that is going to do it for today's video. I apologize, it's a little longer than normal, but these are my top 5s: Levine, Booker, Shea, Ja, and Gary Payton. Dr. J, Paul George, Scottie Pippen, Jack Marin, and Andrew Wiggins. LeBron, KD, Jaime Jaquez, OG Anunoby, and AK. Paulo, Jaren, Giannis, Al, and Karl Malone. And then finally Wemby, D-Rob, Embiid, Miles Turner, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Hopefully y'all found this video fascinating and it gave y'all a good ranking to go off of. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back on more 2K content very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.